Hello everyone, this is Beastly Eel. I know it's been a while, but hey, I'm back. So I wanted to start this video because this is going to be the Book of Boba Fett's season finale. So I wanted to give like I always do, talk about the episode as a whole and where I think it's going to go after. So we have Mando and the group, because now everyone is at the Boba Fett mansion. Sorry, lost my train of thought for a second. So, as we know, everything's been kind of destroyed by the Syndicate. We also had what's his name? The Marshal of Free City or Free Village to be taken out by Cad Bane. So now we're dealing with the aftermath. So his forces are split up. So Boba Fett has the enhanced over by the shipping area to see it when the Syndicate and the Pikes come down. He has the Wookiee over in the main city, just keeping an eye on everything. And then Boba Fett, um, the assassin, and Mando, along with, which still makes me laugh, the deputy mayor, um, in the destroyed bar that the Syndicate blew up. And they were figuring out what their next plan is. So they decide they're going to stay in the stronghold because they're going to need to actually put up a fight. So Boba Fett agrees, and they continue on. So what we find out now is the Pikes actually don't attack, which is the weird part. It is the other families in the planet who actually turn against Boba Fett, and they begin to attack. So they attack the Enhanced. They attack. Oh, I forgot about the pigs, and the pigs were over in. I want to say on top of the mountain. Um, and anyway, they're being attacked. So the pigs get knocked off the mountain, presumably dead. The Wookiee takes out a bunch of their men, but he seems to be knocked down and shot. I'm sorry, not shot, stabbed multiple times. And then for the enhanced, they're being taken out. I don't want to say they're taken out, but they're taking heavy fire over by the shipping area. So the assassin goes away. She disappears to deal with something. So Mando and Boba Fett are staying at the blown up bar. So the syndicate shows up and they begin to open fire and basically state that they want him to surrender. So Boba Fett's like, no way in hell. He goes, I'm just going to go out there and just blow stuff up. Mando explains that there's another option that we could just leave. And Boba Fett goes, no, I'm going down with the ship. And Mando goes, I'll do it with you. And Boba Fett's like, well, you could just leave. He goes, no, you have my word, and I stick by it. So the assistant mayor basically states that he will negotiate for them um, and hopefully get them all out freed. So Boba Fett writes them a note and tells them to go talk to them. Um, so the deputy mayor comes out, explains the terms. What he doesn't realize is Boba Fett basically writes that he will kill all of them without a problem and that they all need to leave the planet. And the deputy mayor was not expecting that. So they begin to get ready to kill the deputy mayor, and that's when Mando and Boba Fett come out and start opening fire on the group. What happens is they take out a bunch of their guys, but in the grand scheme of things, they begin to get their butts kicked. They're getting blasted from all angles, and they're being attacked multiple times. While this is going on, a X-wing flies into our friend, the mechanic, over in Tatooine. It lands, and R2-D2 is driving, or piloting, I should say, and inside is Gorgo. So apparently, Gorgo chose the Vescar vest, or T-shirt, whatever you want to call it, and join Mando and renounce himself from the Force. So she begins to take him, and they go to look for Mando. So anyway, back to the plot. Um, at the shipping area, the Enhanced are taking heavy fire, and the assassin basically states, "Stay down." And they're like, "What are you talking about? We need to get out of here." And that's when she open fires and takes out all of the attackers. She jumps down, tells them to get back to Boba Fett and help him out, and she left. Um, she goes on a different mission. As this is going on, Boba Fett and Mando are taking heavy fire. While this is going on, the citizens of Freetown come out and begin to open fire on the Syndicate. So the Syndicate, excuse me, is overrun by the villagers, um, and they help Boba Fett out. So they begin to overrun the forces. It so seems. This is when the Enhanced start coming in. They come in and start opening fire and helping out as well. We see a little bit of tension between the city folk and the Freetowners. But overall, Boba Fett's basically stating we need to work together to get rid of this threat now. They all agreed, and they continue firing. In the back, we see the Wookiee come out, throwing a bunch of pikes around, trying to escape and get to freedom. He is bleeding, he is wounded, but he is still moving. Boba Fett goes to help him. They begin to give him cover fire, and they bring him over to them. And Boba Fett's basically stating, you're gonna, I owe you a dip in the bath. So anyway, that being said, they now overrun the Pikes and they disappear. So they're all cheering and getting excited. Mando scans the area and he sees two massive robots coming towards them. Mando basically explains that we are not to get excited and we need to be prepared. So these robots have shields, they open fire, no damage is being done, and they begin to be bombarded with blasts from these robots. So they begin to split up. Um, Boba Fett and Mando take one, and the rest of the group is chased by another. So Boba Fett and Mando are trying to break the shields, and none of their attacks work. He attempts to use his dark saber and still unable to penetrate the shield. Um, Boba Fett explains that he has a plan, but he has to go to deal with it. So he takes off. Mando continues to go after the robot. Now he realizes that he's got its attention, sorry, and begins to run away. As he's running away, he bumps into the mechanic and Gorgo, and he's all excited and everything else, but he basically says, "We got to run now." So they take off and begin to go, and they're being heavily fired at. While this is going on, the other group is bunkering down and attempting to take out the robot. They are having no success, and pikes are all around it as well, attempting to take out the group. They basically state that they need to stand together, open fire, and do the best they can to take it out, and they can't move back any further. They have to stay where they are. Um, Mando, their speeder or whatever you want to call it, gets blasted, um, and he begins to try to attack the robot, and well, fails. Which is never fun. As this is going on, Gorgo takes a piece of the robot out, which leaves it one leg down, and the robot continues to try to destroy Mando. As this is going on, Boba Fett comes back riding the Rancor, which then begins to destroy the robot. Now, this is not an easy feat. The robot is still not easy to be defeated. The Rancor defeats the shield, and Mando comes in with his darksaber and cuts up the robot. Damage was done to the Rancor and to Mando and to Boba Fett, but overall they pretty much made it. So they both go after the last robot. The Rancor Sorry, and Mando, pretty much everybody else, helps out and destroys the final robot, and defeats it. This is where Cad Bane comes in, and Cad Bane basically states to Boba that you need to just give up. You know I'm gonna win. And so he attempts to have the Rancor kill Cad Bane, but what happens is Cad Bane fires a flamethrower at it, and enough to make it knock Boba Fett off of him, and then go after and it goes into the city and starts destroying everything. So Boba Fett and Cad Bane have a little bit of a standoff, a little Western style, and they both are trigger happy. And Boba gets shot, knocked down with ease. Cad Bane comes in to pretty much have the finishing blow, and that's when Boba Fett uses that wooden weapon that the Sand People used, trips Cad Bane, stabs him right through the chest, and kills him. While this is going on, Mando is trying to subdue, sorry, the Rancor. He fails. He gets bashed around. His helmet chewed on. He's trying to use multiple tactics to kind of control him, and fails. Mando finally gets knocked to the ground and pretty much is defeated. Gorgo comes in, uses the Force, and knocks out the Rancor, and everything seems to be hunky dory. The Pikes begin to run away. At the main stronghold of the Syndicate in Tatooine, all of the heads of the family and the mayor, along with the head of the Syndicate for this sector, I guess you would say, are kind of conversing. The Pike was basically saying, "We're getting out of here. We've lost. You guys all told us this was going to be easy, and it was not. It's not worth our time or money, and we're wasting too much resources to actually do anything on this planet." They're all arguing that there was, why did you do this? Blah blah blah. And as this is going on, um, there are blasts being heard outside, and they start to get nervous. Well, apparently the assassin made it over there and kills all of the heads of the family and the head of the syndicate of this sector. The syndicate is not gone by no means. And she takes out all of them. And that ends the war on Tatooine. So they meet back up. Mando and Gorgo take off, and he's basically on a new mission. We imagine to Mandalore, but we'll have to wait and see. As for the rest of the group, the days have passed, and Boba Fett is pretty much being respected as a leader. Everyone's happy to see him. He's bowing. He's in pain, um, and he gives the Wookiee a fruit that he eats, and the Enhanced get a little PO'd about it, and the assassin, they're making jokes about it, and the assassin's like, "Well, why don't you just ask him to share?" And that's when the Wookiee kind of growls at him. So anyway, the first cutscene has to do with we see in his chamber, Boba Fett's chamber, in the healing tank, we see the Marshal actually inside the tank, healing up, and we also see the mechanic that helped the assassin with the creation of her inside. So we imagine he's going to get some sort of augmentation done to him to make him better or heal him, either one. And then the second cutscene had to do with the Mandalorian and Gorgo. Gorgo wanted him to go faster and faster and faster, and he's basically like, no. And then he finally does, and Gorgo gets all excited. And that was the end of the Book of Boba Fett. So I don't know if we're going to actually get another season of the Book of Boba Fett, only because the only redeemable parts of it was when the Mandalorian was a part of it. And when Luke Skywalker was there and Ahsoka Tano, Boba Fett himself wasn't a great character, in my personal opinion, in this series. You might have a different opinion, obviously. Let me know in the comments, but That's where I'm going with. And because of that, I feel like it's not going to happen. I feel like he'll be a side character that might come in to help out with um, the Mandalorian later on, which would be nice to see. And we also know that the season 3 of The Mandalorian will have him go to Mandalore. We're not quite sure how, what's going to happen, all that stuff, but we will have to see what goes on. I imagine there'll be filler episodes on his way to Mandalore, but overall, we know the main story arc of season 3 is going to be him going to Mandalore and seeing what happens after that. So, as always, if you like the content you see, please like and subscribe below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a good night.